Hi there. Excuse me. Okay, I'm just doing a video now of of the update of it'll be part 11 of the profiler that uh, the profiler attachment that I'm building for the TIG lathe. And one of the first things I'm going to try. I'm ready to try out the profile on the lathe, but but I have to make a form, a profile form on the milling machine um, that I want to place on the attachment, and what it is I'm gonna put this in front of the camera, and if you can see it, it's a ball handle. It's a really nice one, and I imagine that it may have come from a South Bend or something very similar to that. And it's from end to end, it's 3 inches long, and this ball here is 1 inch diameter, and this ball here is ½ inch diameter, and this part here is 3/4. What I've done is I've drawn this actual full size up on the a drafting program. I have DraftSite, and it's very similar to AutoCAD. It's really almost, I shouldn't say a copy, but it's almost identical to AutoCAD. So I drew it up in full size, and once I'd got it drawn, I then scaled it down, experimenting with different scales, until I got something that I thought would be adequate for the hand wheel on the carriage of the TIG lathe. And I came down to a conclusion that a 4.5 scale of the full size would probably look quite nice. One of the problems is that I may not be able to get it exactly in the form of this here, because the roller that I have on the sliding tool that follows the cam, or the profile, it can't get into the corners there. I'm using a 3/8 ball bearing as a follower, and so it won't give me sharp corners, but it will give me the form of most of it, and then I can finish it off by hand, hopefully, to produce something that looks like this, and will be nice for the hand wheel on the TIG. So after I'd done that, I transferred the drawing into a DXF, and I then I loaded it into a program called LazyCam, which comes with Mac 3 program, CNC, and so I then loaded it up into LazyCam, and then once I'd got everything information loaded in, I then transferred it over to Mac 3, and that produced the G-code. So I'm now at the stage where I've got the material here, which is filing cabinet dividers. It's about 40 thou thick, and it's coated on both sides with a paint, but that doesn't matter. and I got a whole pile of this stuff, so I figured that this would make kind of a nice former. So I've got it clamped at each end onto a piece of plastic which is in the vise, as you can see, and one of the things that I always do is I run the program dry on the computer just to make sure that everything is working okay, there's no problems with the code, and then I come over to the machine and I run it again in the machine as a dry run with the Z-axis raised up, and just to double make sure. I don't use CNC a lot. I modified a Chinese mill a few years back into CNC because I became interested in it. But most of my work I do by hand, manual. But of course, you know, when you get something with radiuses on and shapes, then CNC makes it a lot easier to manufacture that if you know a certain amount of CNC. I'm not a CNC person really. As I say, I just use it occasionally on models if there's something complicated, and it's certainly not faster for me. It takes me probably it definitely takes me more time to produce a G-code or something that's going to come off the mill the way I want it, and I spend quite a bit of time messing around with CNC. So most of the time, if it's straightforward, I just use the handles and the manually. So anyway, I haven't even tried this. I haven't even done a sample or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and hope that this unit is going to work okay, and we'll just see what happens. So okay, I'll switch the controller on, which is it's a Camtronic unit, and I've had it for probably 7 or 8 years now, and you know, I guess the fact that I don't use it very much is part of the reason why it's serving me well. But it's just a 3-axis unit, and so that's what I'm using there. Okay, now I'll switch the machine on, and what I usually do is I turn the feed right the way down as slow as I can, just to make sure that everything is going to start up okay. With CNC, if something goes wrong, it goes wrong very quickly. And so we'll see what happens. Okay, that's that. Now here we go. Oh, I've got it on. I have to change over these steps. No, I think I'll do it in steps. I'll do it in steps because that's safe. It just does one step at a time instead of continuous. So we'll just see what happens. I can speed up the feed. That's gone up 0.1 for clearance. And there it goes. I'm going to slow it down a bit. Next step is the Z-axis is coming down, so I can speed that up a bit. It's only got to come down 0.1, and I'm taking a 10th cut in depth, just rubbing. Okay, let's speed it up. It's not touching the material yet, so it should have gone down. That's moving over to the right on the x-axis. So it's not going to cut for the further. I've got it going down to a 50 thou depth, so it should finish the part off. Okay, that's the y-axis is going up. It's just starting to cut now. So. I wish I could pause this camera and then come back on the same thing. I got a feeling that I have to have some kind of a program for editing. So I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work. It's like a development job where you get this idea and you try and put it to paper and get it working. I think what I'll do now, at the end of this cut, I think I'll take it off the single step. Let's get it down. Take it off the step. And we'll see how this goes. sure that a lot of people, CNC people, will be watching this, or if they are watching it, they'll probably have a fit. But not everybody is an expert, so that's the way I look at it. It's a learning experience. I've just been watching a video, and after all the years that I've been machining, I learned something, two things. Even at the age of 78, you can still learn things, and they were basically simple things regarding using tools for measuring dovetails. Not the best of the cutter. It's one of those throwaway 3-flute cutters that I've had for years, that I obtained while I was working. It's been used, so it wasn't brand new. I guess in a way you have to look at this, and although it's taken a long time, you have to look at it in the sense that how would you do that on the milling machine? And it's not straightforward. You'd have to do it on a rotary table, and you'd have to have lots of dimensions on a piece of paper, giving you centers for each 3 of the radiuses, plus you'll be working from the center of the rotary table. So mistakes can be made, and if you scrap it, then you have to start all over again. So to me, there is a certain amount of appreciation in being able to at least do a simple job. This is, I'm sure people look at this and think, oh wow, that's nothing, and I'm sure that's true, but for me to set up a rotary table on here, which I don't have, not for here, one of the reasons is because I've got this CNC, and at least once it's set up, although it did take me quite a while, at least it's producing something that would be quite complicated in a sense, and timely as well. And yet it's producing what I want, or what I think I want. Who knows? It's certainly not going to come out that size, I'm sure, in the lathe, because of the fact that I'm not using a point to make contact with this contour. I'm using a 3/8 diameter roller, so that's going to make a big difference to the size of the finished component in the lathe. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. who knows? But, you know, I'm not working in manufacturing, I'm not running a business. It's just a hobby, and who cares, really? That's should be another pass after this, and it should be done. One of the things I'm thinking about in the future as another project is just for the sheer want of doing it, is to perhaps buy another one of these heads and being able to convert the mill into a horizontal mill instead of vertical. Especially if you've got some long bars that need centering at each end, or something that's a bit long that you can't get through the hole in the spindle of the lathe, and you need to get centers in it. So plus for drilling, I've got a George Thomas's versatile dividing head that I can set up on here, and I can use it as a drill or milling stuff in the horizontal plane with the dividing head on. One of the things that worries me a little bit is when you're machining something with CNC like this, once you break through, then anything can happen. The piece becomes loose, and you could have a jam up. So if it's possible, like, it would be nice to have put a hole in. I should have put a hole in there first and use that to clamp the piece while it breaks through, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's starting to lift now. Once this is finished, if everything goes well and it doesn't get jammed up and ruined, I'll close the video, and then I'll get it set up on the lathe, and hopefully might produce something. like I said, let's hope it hasn't ruined the piece. Okay, well, we'll wait and see. I'll show you it when I get it on the lathe. I'll switch off now.